who'd fought his own battles for recycling, decide he wanted to get involved in theirs.
And when I read it, I said, geez, I want to meet this girl.
He came to a few of our meetings.
Young people in that class looked at me kind of suspicious. Who's this guy from another planet?
He was very supportive.
They told me what they thought about what they had done at their school and who they were going to go after next.
After we got the Board of Education to switch to paper, we decided to take on a bigger project.
And they were going to go after McDonald's. I said, oh my God, what am I getting myself into here?
Hi, good morning. May I help you?
McDonald's was the only big fast food chain still using styrofoam packaging. McDonald's claimed it was recycling, but was recycling none of the packaging taken out of the restaurants. And of that being used inside the restaurants, it was recycling only 25%.
25% was not good enough for us. We thought that they could do better.
The kids decided to take it to the street. Tanya's classmate, Kurt Schneid, would turn Ronald McDonald into Ronald McToxic.
We used the clown to say that McDonald's products are not good for the environment and that we don't want them in our society. I volunteered for the role. I was the only one who volunteered for the role.
They were very nervous about it, but they were ready to go ahead, and that's how it began.
McDonald's is using polystyrene.
Hi, my name is Tanya Vogt, and I'm also from West Milford High School.
The first time I went with Tanya Vogt to the McDonald's, I met the manager. Communicated to us that McDonald's was doing research and that we're trying to make these styrofoams so they weren't so much styrofoam. The bottom line was it was still styrofoam.
I suggested that we have a boycott, and we just boycott McDonald's completely, whereas we would tell people not to go there to buy their food, not to go there for any reason, and hopefully we could hurt them in the pocket.
And the kids actually went out and with their own money, they bought bumper stickers, which said boycott McDonald's until they switch.
It definitely spread out of West Milford, first through New Jersey, and then it seemed that people across the country were being aware of what McDonald's was doing, and they also decided not to go to McDonald's anymore.
Finally, the protest, the boycott, the pressure worked. The McDonald's Corporation saw the light. If people didn't want styrofoam,
we are in the people business, we like to satisfy our customers, and they didn't feel good about the styrofoam, so we changed. We have switched from the polystyrene to the paper wrap.
It turns out that they still use styrofoam in their breakfast menu for their pancakes and whatnot, but as far as their clamshells, they use a cardboard piece and paper to hold the hamburgers, which is good, but it's not where we wanted to end up.
We have downsized the size of our napkins, made them smaller. These are our carry-out bags that our customers used to take out their products with. As you can see, it's recycled and can be recycled. We have restaurants that separate all their corrugated, their cardboard, which is recycled.
They've taken one step, and now they're going to take a little rest and before they make another step.
That's how things get started. That's how people start moving. That's how legislation gets introduced. And because you're young, it doesn't mean that you're going to have any less of a chance to be responded to.
We went from a bunch of high school students protesting at our school board to a nationwide campaign protesting against one of the largest corporations in the world. And that really meant that we made a difference.
Everyone can make a difference no matter who they are, and I did it. I was very shy, and anyone can do it if I can.
now they're trying to change the law. If they succeed, and it looks likely, then in 5 years, 60% of all the garbage in New Jersey will have to be recycled. An idea that grows. But in case you were thinking life is ever a simple story, you should also know that Tanya Vogt spent this summer working for a plastics company. Come back to the day the Earth threw up and the pollution detectives. well laws to protect water, sometimes you need something more. In Rhode Island, there's a group called Save the Bay. Their mission, to protect the Narragansett Bay and the waters that flow into it. Kurt Spaulding heads the organization. Think of him and others in this story as pollution detectives, public eyes.
We're the group that gets action.
Take a trip down the river to the bay. See what they see. Hear what they do about what they see.
At Save the Bay, what we like to do is first call the people who are polluting the river and try to get them to stop. If they won't, we'll call the press, call the media, bring them down, let them know what's going on. If that doesn't work, we try to get tougher, bring out the hammer, hire attorneys. We're going to sue you. If we can't get action, then we've got a real problem, because we're big and we're strong and we're not afraid of anybody. There was one case where we really had to throw everything we had at a developer down in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. He had built a development with faulty septic systems in it and sold it to people. The septic systems failed, and they put a pipe down the street and started discharging the raw sewage into the Seconic River. So we filed a lawsuit. As it turns out, we won a judgment from the federal court, and the developer had to stop the discharge immediately and had to build a septic system, a new septic system, to handle all the waste.
But today, it's another river, another set of problems.
As we go down the river, we're going to go by the sewage plants, the plants that discharge most of the waste into the river. You'll see those. You'll see millions of gallons of polluted water coming into the river. That's wrong. Look at the water. The water is brown. Really, while everything looks good, this is a sick river. The water should be blue.
Should be and ought to be are different from what is. These people need help.
We can't be on the river every day. Without the help of people, it just won't happen. Trips like this down the river we take, we see a lot of things. So, just imagine if everybody was looking out, how much better our environment would be protected.
Okay, bring her up.
To get action, first get information. The boat in the bay belongs to Seaguard, a national organization that offers training to kids and adults who want to do something real to protect our waters. It turns people into pollution detectives.
What happens here and how we treat the bay here is going to be a key example of what's going to happen down later in history.
The kids, like all these kids that are here today, come on the boat. They get to help out. They get to coil lines. They get to do the physical sailing things. But then the bad, that's the reward. This is the bad stuff that they have to experience.
Commonly known as black mayonnaise.
Stick your hand in. Last time I did it, it caused sores to come up on my hand within a couple hours. Skin peeled off a week later. What I want to do is get the materials and the tools so other people can go into battle and win. So our niche in this whole environmental battle is getting the pictures and making them available to other organizations. We grab our cameras and we go out to oil spills. We got pictures of sick whales, cancerous fish, seagulls choking in plastic. You name it, we've got it. You have to have hard evidence. And pictures are the best evidence.
We take our cameras into sewer systems. We go wherever we have to show you what's hidden below the water. Because not many people can dive and see it. So that's my job, to show you what's not visible, what's not really made available to you.
If you don't empower people with the real truth, then we can't react. If people knew how bad it really was, they'd be parking their cars and they'd be fixing those oil leaks and they'd be recycling now.
What do we do? Places to go, and no clean way to get there. I don't know.
This has been a story of respect in action, respect for our environment. A simple story, really. To end happily, all it takes is desire, energy, thought, and boatloads of hard work.
Smoking wheels.
Garbage, water, now air. Once upon a time, not too long ago, you couldn't see the air, That was before we invented factories to put black smoke into the air and cars to put toxic, poisonous gases into the air. Gases that come from the gasoline cars burn to make them run. Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Now the air is so polluted, there are times and places where breathing is bad for you. But what if somebody invented a gasoline that, when burned, did not give off poisonous gases? There's good news and bad news. Good first. On July 11th, 1991, ARCO, a huge oil company, announced what seemed like a scientific miracle, a secret formula. A new gasoline that would reduce the poisonous gases that come from cars by 37%. That's like taking 8 million cars off the road. They called it ECX.
Our tests indicate that it is, without question, the cleanest burning gasoline ever developed in the marketplace.
Now the bad news. ARCO says it will cost $1 billion to produce the gas. ARCO's decided it will not make or sell the new gas because it doesn't think people will pay 15 to 20 cents more per gallon. ARCO is in the business to make money.
No company can afford to sell more expensive gasoline like ECX if others can undercut us with a cheaper, dirtier product.
ARCO says you won't pay extra. Well, let's talk about this. Would you pay extra, Rachel?
Yes, I would pay extra.
Why?
Well, because this gas is good for the environment, and money isn't everything, but the earth is.
I think they should try to sell the gas, because it wouldn't hurt to take 15 or 20 cents out of our leisure money.
I mean, 10 or 15 cents really doesn't really matter when it comes to gas or saving to earth.
10, 15 cents a week, doesn't matter. But it's 10 or 50, it's 15 cents, say, more per gallon. Now, if the car holds 15 gallons, that's 2 1/4 more. What does that buy your, a magazine? Is there a magazine you like to read? And are you willing to give up that magazine?
Yes, because I think the earth is worth more than a magazine. You got to give it a chance at least. At least sell it for a while and see how many people buy it.
What if, let's say, both your parents work and they both drive cars to work and they run errands? That's $400 a year.
If you have like $400 and is going to buy Nintendo, that's the time when you should think, and you can buy the other gas to save the earth.
Well, it depends on the person, like who really cares about the environment.
Let's say your mom doesn't have that extra $400 a year.
If you need that money that much, then you should pick the cheaper gasoline.
What if say your dad works for ARCO and they decide to go ahead with this super gas and they put it out there and people aren't buying it because it costs too much and your dad gets laid off? Is it worth that to you? I guess that's what we're talking about here. You know, everybody says, I want to save the environment. But then when you get down to it, of what it costs, what you have to give up, then you come down to real hard questions like, what are you willing to give up to save the planet?
I would buy the gas if I could. I think overall, basically, that most people won't buy the ARCO gasoline because it's higher priced. I mean, you know, I'd like to think that most people would buy the ARCO gasoline, but most people don't have the heart like that to do that.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, it's not that easy. Sometimes curing a sick planet seems impossible. There are people who say it can't be done. It's too late, they say. Earth, water, air, the mess is too big. It's like trying to bite a basketball. The thing is, you can bite a basketball if you know how and where to start.
Take a shorter shower, it's the thing to do. Tell your little brother he can do it too. Fill a jug with water, in the tank it goes. Every time you flush, you'll be saving H2O. Keep the oven off and use the microwave. Think of all the energy that you can save. Separate the trash, you know it's easy to do. And it's great to get your friends to do it too. Open up the curtains when you need some light. Turn the paper over every time you write. If you're going shopping and the store's not far, walk or ride your bike. Forget about thank you, I'll just use the one I have. If there's nothing special that you want to see, then turn off your TV. There's only one of you, but you can do a lot. Let's save the only earth we've got. In summer, you don't need a fan to feel the breeze. In winter, all you need is 68 degrees. Use an extra blanket when you catch your seas. We can do it. We can do it now.
Those are a few things you can do. Some of them are small, but we stumble over pebbles, never over mountains. All of them seem important. You decide. This television program does not choose to do your thinking for you or make your choices. We hope we've given you some things to think about. The planet really is sick. It really can be cured. We really do have a choice. We can do it or not do it. But there's no superhero coming to save the Earth. No intergalactic police, no fairy godmother, no magician. There's going to be no miracle. This makes the choice simpler. And anyway, it's still easier to cure a sick planet than it is to bite a basketball. Goodbye for Nick News.